Good morning and greetings to you all. Calvary Church, hello once again. If you are new here, if you're a digital visitor, welcome and greetings to you and to your families on this Maundy Thursday. I wanted to note real quickly that I will not be putting up a devotional video tomorrow. It is Good Friday tomorrow, and I hope and pray that all of you will find some way to worship tomorrow in your homes with your families. If you're looking for a place to worship at Calvary tomorrow, we hope to have our Good Friday service on our website, and we invite you all to join us. We will be partaking of communion tomorrow in the Good Friday service, and so I invite you to get your hands on some communion elements beforehand. Yesterday, with these devotional videos, we looked at the story of the calming of the storm, and Jesus asked in that story, he asks his disciples why they are so afraid. And today, as we approach Good Friday, I'd like to look at what is perhaps the most well-known passage in the Bible related to fear. I'm talking about John chapter 14. In John 14, we are drawing very close to the cross. Jesus will soon be betrayed. He will soon be arrested, and he will soon be crucified. And in John 14, he is speaking with his disciples, and this is what he says in John 14. I invite you to hear the word of the Lord from John chapter 14. We will be starting with verse. Jesus says to his disciples, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God. Trust also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, I would have told you. I am going there to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you may also be where I am. You know the way to the place where I am going." Thomas said to him, "Lord, we do not know where you are going, so how can we know the way?" Jesus answered, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really knew me, you would know my Father as well. From now on, you do know him and have seen him." Jumping in verse 27. "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. The central thing that we have to understand about this passage is that Jesus has told his disciples that he is leaving them. And in addition to this, it was clear that this whole process of Jesus leaving them was going to be filled with pain, betrayal, arrest, and death. The disciples, meanwhile, had learned to put their hope and their trust in this person. And now he was leaving them. And if we read the whole passage in John 14, we can see that the disciples are panicking. First, we have Thomas pleading with Jesus. Then we have Philip chiming in. Then we have Judas, not Judas Iscariot. And they all want answers. They all want to understand what is happening. This incredible man that they had been following for 3 years, this man that they saw do miracles and heal the sick, teach thousands of people, this man that they had saw raise the dead, was telling them that they were going to be on their own. And they wanted to understand. They wanted answers. They wanted to know what was going to happen. And Jesus responds, "Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. Trust in God. Trust also in me." The disciples couldn't understand how Jesus leaving them could possibly be a good thing. Their human minds were not capable of seeing the big picture that was unfolding. And so Jesus says to them, part of dealing with your fear is trusting. Jesus says, do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust. The implication is that we deal with our fear by trusting. Trusting that there is a bigger picture that is unfolding, even if we do not see it or understand it. In our passage, it's interesting to me that Jesus doesn't give his disciples much of an explanation. He speaks about the work that he has to do, but he's doing so in a very strange way. But he says, in effect, I'm leaving for you. But he doesn't really give them details, and he doesn't really give them answers. He tells them to trust. And he assures them that what is happening is what is best for them, even if they cannot see it. Pain and death are on the horizon, and Jesus tells them to trust. He's assuring the disciples there is a plan. God is in control. He knows what he is doing, even if we do not see it or understand it. And, says Jesus, this is all happening for your benefit. As we remember Holy Week this week, Monday, Thursday today, Good Friday tomorrow, I think it's important that we acknowledge this week and we celebrate this week that Jesus does not give to us as the world gives. Painful as that reality may be, Jesus does not work as the world works. The gospel itself is the story of how God brings life from death, fullness from emptiness, riches from poverty, strength from weakness, glory from agony, rest from chaos, peace from fear, freedom from bondage. This is how God has always worked. And this is how God continues to work. This was how God worked in the Bible, and this is how God is working right now. We might not understand, we might want answers, but he is at work. And Jesus proclaims to us today, do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. Trust in God. Trust also in me. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. People of God, do not be afraid. And may the Lord be with you.